A car has a bonnet and a phone has a cover to protect the internal important machineries from damage from rain or dust. Similarly, we have many important delicate organs in our body like the lungs, the heart, the liver, which needs to be protected from the dust and the germs. So we have a continuous sheet of tissue known as the skin, which forms a protective layer and protects the internal delicate organs from germs and dust. Now, germs and dust are airborne. It is present everywhere. So the skin is present to protect the internal organs from them. But what about the skin itself? It does not get affected by the dust and the germs. But even the skin is made up of cells. Then how is it possible? Well, this is because the topmost layer of skin is made up of dead cells. So germs and dust cannot harm the dead cells, but the internal organs are made up of living cells. So germs and dust can affect the internal organs, but not the skin. Well, just like lizards and reptiles shed their dead skin seasonally, human beings also shed their dead skin there. Well, see, this is what the skin, the topmost layer of skin, looks like histologically. That is under the microscope. See, this layer of the skin consists of cells which are hollow from inside. Since the cells are hollow or empty, we can say that they are dead cells. Now, these hollow and dead cells were living at some point of time, but when? Now, if you notice carefully, you will see that below this layer of hollow dead cell is a layer of cell that contains cytoplasm. So see, because they contain cytoplasm, we can easily say that they are living, and so they divide to form new cells. Now with the formation of new cells, the old cells die and moves towards the outer border of the skin. Now the old dead cells that were already present at the top are replaced by these new dead cells, and the old dead cells are shed off from the topmost layer of the skin. Now this layer that consists of living cells also contain a color pigment in their cytoplasm, and this color pigment is responsible for the difference in complexion in different people. If the amount of this pigment is more in the cells, then a person has a darkish complexion, and if this pigment is less in the cells, the person is fair. This dark colored pigment present in these cells, which are the living cells, is known as melanin. Now it has been seen that melanin helps in synthesizing vitamin D, which is very necessary for healthy teeth and healthy bones. So it has been seen that people who have more melanin in their cells do not have or have less chances of rickets, which is characterized by deformation of the bones and deformation of the teeth. So this layer that has all the cytoplasmic content as well as melanin is known as the Malpighian layer, after the scientist Marcello Malpighi, who first discovered this layer in the skin. Now try and feel the skin in your hand or your face. It is soft. But if you feel the skin in your soul, it is tough. Now why is there a difference? Well, the difference lies in the topmost layer, that is the layer that consists of dead cells. Now this dead cell layer or the cornified layer vary in thickness. In the skin of our face and our hands, the thickness of this cornified layer is less, and in our souls, the thickness is more, thus giving a tough nature in our souls. Now notice there is an intermediate layer between the topmost dead cell layer and the living cell layer. Now see, these cells have granules in the cytoplasm, and hence they are known as the granular layer. So this layer, where the cytoplasm has granules, are known as the granular layer. Now where does this granules originate from? Well, the colored pigment present in this living layer forms the granules, and eventually when the living cells starts to die, then these granular pigment molecules also disappear, and eventually we get this layer of dead cells, which is ultimately hollow. There are no granules present in these cells. See, this cell is completely hollow. So the pigment granular molecules or the particles have dissolved by the time the cells have died. So the upper parts of the skin is known as the epidermis, and it has three parts. The topmost part, which has dead cells, is known as the cornified layer. The intermediate layer that has granules in the cytoplasm is known as the granular layer. And this last layer consists of living cells that have all the cell inclusions and all the cell organelles, as well as a colored pigment known as melanin.